Hello everyone, and welcome to your second royal reading today here at MadWorldTarot. Sunday afternoon as I'm doing these readings today, and I have the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot on the tarot table, for this one. It's plain old Rider-Waite with a little bit of a dark twist on it, and I think suitable for a reading involving Father Brendan Kilcoyne, an Irish priest. And Meghan's been subjected to blow after blow in recent times, an endless amount of mockery. I think TikTok is now almost entirely devoted to spoofs of With Love Meghan. Gwyneth Paltrow came out on Instagram, an Instagram reel, and had a bit of a go at her as well, very subtly. We can only assume or imagine that she was, or speculate that she was having a go at Meghan. This one from Father Brendan Kilcoyne came out of left field. Who would have thought that the Irish priesthood would also be offended by Meghan Markle and feel the need to express that disdain for her and her cooking show on a YouTube channel? I know it's not a spoof, it's real. I watched the whole thing, and then I found myself watching other things that he'd put on YouTube, and more and more and more, and nodding my head in agreement and thinking, this is a man that needs to be taken seriously. Anyway, Father Brendan Kilcoyne told us that Meghan Markle is a nemesis. She is the anti-monarchy. Thank God they're out there in Montecito. Herself and her poor deluded noggin of a husband, they, meaning the royal family, do not deserve to be connected like this to somebody who is so shallow. And then he goes on to say, I recommend you watch some of this. You could do it for Lent. And he goes on to tell people to offer it up for Lent. Watching With Love Meghan, he says, sit back and just drink in the mediocrity and savour the narrow escape that one of the most distinguished royal lines in the world has just had. And now you know how James Joyce happened, and all the other fabulous writers that come from Ireland, and Father Brendan Kilcoyne right up there with the great raconteurs, the great Irish wordsmiths. This is far too mundane word really to describe this level of linguistic genius, in my opinion. So anyway, a bit of a blow for our girl in Montecito with her noggins of a husband, because she was just recently celebrating Paddy's Day, making those sickly green pancakes, and also reminding us that she went to Catholic high school, the Immaculate Heart High School in LA. So that didn't obviously go unnoticed by Father Brendan Kilcoyne. So with the Radiant Wise Spirits Tarot, I'm just going to do a check-in with our girl in Montecito and see how this is going for her. All these blows, is she still so sanguine? Or is it taking a bit of a toll, all of this? Because as I say, who would have thought that this level of criticism would come from an Irish priest who was giving his little sort of homily on YouTube and felt the need to express his disgust, really, for the level of shallow that Meghan Markle represents and the damage it's doing to the British royal family. I mean, really, from an Irish priest. I had to have a little lie down afterwards, because the world was going round and round. One more shuffle, and then we're off to the races with this one, and see where we go. With the Celtic cross, of course, let's just remind you that it is all tarot, and it's all for fun and entertainment, and it is just my opinion and just speculation, and I just read energy. And there is a disclaimer in the box below. So, what is going on with Meghan Markle? She suffered what Gwyneth Paltrow said. Didn't look like she saw it as the kind of a blow that I would see it as. I would never emerge in public again if Gwyneth Paltrow did what she did and said what she said. But that's me. a highly sensitive person. I think we're dealing with a highly insensitive person, in my opinion. We have the Six of Swords as our underlying energy, which is leaving your trouble and your cares behind and trying to move on into calmer energy, less conflicted energy. It's also the Overseas card. And of course, she and the has-been set off to Montecito, as Father Brendan said, thank God they're there in Montecito, herself and her poor deluded noggin of a husband. The royal family does not deserve to be connected to someone who is so shallow. There it is. They set off, and there was great rejoicing in the land when they left, and the shadow of them passed over. I think that's what our Six of Swords is telling us, basically. I know it's supposed to be about Meghan Markle and her own sense of self, and that would be her thinking, well, let me leave this place of so much woe and conflict, and where everyone hates me and won't shake my hand when I'm reeling around. Some people say she was inebriated. We don't know that for sure. There is speculation outside Windsor Castle when the late Queen had just passed away, and she and the has-been had the Netflix cameras rolling all ready to go until William and Catherine preempted all of that, and one brave soul refused to shake her hand, and Meghan Markle gave her a sort of slap before she moved on to the next one. The Brits are way too polite for my tastes in situations like that, but maybe not too polite because it got noticed. Very much so. So here we are. Situation Meghan is in right now. The Four of Cups, rejection energy. Bland, boring. Who wants to know? Nobody wants to know. We pass. You're offering us something we don't want, and we all pass on it. But we pass on it while making a sort of mockery of it to amuse ourselves, because you didn't amuse us, so we have to do the amusing ourselves. Netflix should take note of that energy. How many people went to great lengths to amuse other people because Netflix failed in its job, which is simply to entertain? So the challenge card for Meghan, the crossing card, it's the star, hope, what's it, things eternal, springs eternal, hope springs eternal, and there is a spring. And so hope springs eternal with a star. I'm still a star. I'm Meghan Sussex now, and I'm wearing Diana's watch, and I think she's got that Cartier bracelet. Is it the one the then Prince Charles gave her? I can't remember. I've still got those tendrils, and I've still got all my neutrals in my cupboards and walk-in wardrobes full of those neutrals. And I'm still fine. I've still got my monogram on my writing paper. I'm fine. I'm a star. What's going on behind the scenes? Is she really that fine? No. Five of Pentacles. It's in reverse. It's the outcast card. Shunned, ruined, loathed, not welcome. Stay away. We're so glad you left. You and your noggin husband overseas. We wish you well with your life overseas. Famous. It's almost as good as recollections may vary. She wants back in. She wants back in somewhere where people actually have some vague interest in what she does, and where she doesn't have to work quite so hard for Netflix and for money. Obviously, they sent her out to work 5 years later. Still nothing had been produced. So with clock ticking, they made her go and stand in someone else's kitchen and pretend to make food. Hard. Life is hard, really. It's a struggle for her to survive. I can tell that from this Five of Pentacles. I'm being deeply sarcastic. She wants back in, though. She wants back in on Easy Street, wherever Easy Street is, what she thinks is Easy Street. That's how I'm reading it. She wants back in to the Gwyneth Paltrow crowd, to the royal family, to the A+ list, all of that sort of stuff. She had a little moment where she was welcome there, and then she messed it all up, didn't she? So what's her focus now? What's her mind on? Fresh start, another one. She's going to pivot to something else. She's going to rebrand. She wants a fresh start. She might, and I'm getting these hits just occasionally. She might be looking and thinking, can't stay in Montecito, might have to go somewhere else at some stage. It's in the energy. It's in the energy. Time to move again and pack the bags and off we go. But the rebrand, the pivoting, I don't think the as ever thing. Have seen little signs also that it might involve a bit of acting. If she can get, they'd pay to have her on a show just because eyes would be on it, because people would hate watch to see if they can do more spoofs on TikTok. We're at that stage now. Recent events, how has she been handling all the criticism and all of that? We've got the Knight of Wands in reverse. She's not enjoying it, obviously, with this Knight of Wands. This is, I think, the mockery, the jokery energy, because the Knight of Wands is a bit of a joker in the pack, basically. It's impetuous, it's impulsive, it's sudden, it's funny. Energy. If anyone's going to be funny in the tarot, it would be the Knight of Wands. Ha ha ha. But funny, cruel in this case, because it's in reverse and it's coming out of left field and from all over the place, and it's got an international vibe, the Knight of Wands. And so some of the criticism is not coming from the hated British public. It's coming from close to home. Of course, loads of Americans are out there making spoofs of Meghan at this point. But an Irish Catholic priest? Who would have thought? And so that's in there as well, that there's mockery and she's not liking it and she doesn't really know how to deal with it. I don't think it's something that she's used to in her life. She doesn't seem to have much of a sense of humour. It would help so much if she did have a sense of humour, if she could take the mickey herself and just play to this and say, yeah, I get it. I have been a bit up my own, you know what, and I am normal like everyone else, and ha ha ha, and here we go. Not capable of doing that. Of course, still wants to be Miss Perfect over there, the star. How's she going to react to situation? Chariot. She's going to run them all down. Very ambitious, very focused, very driven. It's just going to make her even more determined to succeed. Really, she gives me the energy of a cockroach in an ice age. And, when the glaciers thaw and everyone else is dead, there's the cockroach. That's my opinion of her. And that's a bit unpleasant as in terms of an image. But it's the one that came to mind. It's how my mind works, my faulty mind. So apologies if it was offensive. But yeah, resilient that's taken to quite scary levels, because it's resilience without self-awareness. And so it's just obsessive energy of, I'm just going to keep going. I'm relentless. I'll hire a new PR person. I'll hire a new agent. I'll get a new kitchen somewhere. I'll start a new business. I'll start a new brand. I'll wear different clothes. I'll get a new face. I'll do whatever I have to do. Cut off a bit of my toe. And then you'll love me. It's amazing what a bit of money can do to somebody who's already quite high on the narcissist spectrum, in my opinion. Okay, so how does she see herself right now? We got the Empress in reverse, woman scorned. The Empress in reverse. This is somebody, she's doing her best to be abundant and sexy and desirable and valuable, and the Earth Mother and the Goddess and all the rest of it. Perfect woman. And she's being scorned for it. And she doesn't like it. That Knight of Wands in reverse. Angry about it. She really feels woman scorned here. She feels that it's coming from people who are misogynists, from people who are racists, from people who resent her because of her impact on the royal family. Empress in there, the Queen, the current Queen, the late Queen, the current Queen, the Queen to be, all of that stuff. Can't deal with it, hate her because of her mummy Diana stuff, mother energy in here, all of that. So she sees herself as very deeply wronged when all she was doing was expressing herself. She's just should be popular, abundant, successful, desirable, highly valued, most esteemed, bowed down to. We know the monogram, we know the writing paper, we know all of that. The doormat with the little silly monogram. We know all of that. But it's being mocked because we're jealous. What pressure is she under? Ooh, we got the High Priestess in reverse. Secrets. Secrets coming out. That's interesting. And it's interesting it's the High Priestess because it's about initiation and it's about mysteries, and it could, at a stretch, encompass things like a Catholic priest who, out of the blue, denounces you and then you know you've lost your audience completely because they're supposed to be all about forgiveness, and but he was quite vocal in his denunciation of the show and how rubbish it was. And how rubbish it was so rubbish that it was actually quite pleasant to watch because it was so rubbish. I think that is what that High Priestess is really telling us. If you've lost the clergy, you've lost everything. So where are we now? Hopes and fears for our girl in Montecito. And Knights of Cups in reverse. She's worried about how she's going to win people back, especially, interestingly, in energy in here, the male vote, basically. And we've just had that thing in the United States in the election with men and who men were going to vote for. This is who men are going to vote for now. And many of the spoof accounts and all those TikTok things are men who are mocking Meghan Markle. She's lost a certain tranche of men. No, I didn't say tranche of men who might early on have been supporters. She certainly has surrounded herself. It's quite noticeable that she surrounded herself with gay men consistently, from people she's hired to work from her. She's still got that one who runs everything in Montecito. He's quite low profile, but he's still around. James Knorf was, obviously Marcus, Scooby-Doo, all of those, apparently, should I say allegedly, but worrying to her if she's lost them, because then you get this level of humor and wit and attack that you can't really do anything about. She can't, like she can go after the derangers, women like me, who are of a certain age and body shape and are terribly jealous that she married that ginger whinger, apparently. Can't forgive her for that. A biracial woman for getting that prize. Poor deluded noggin of a husband. Not so easy. Now she's lost that contingent. Where is she headed? And she's headed to Judgment Day, but it's in reverse. So she's not going to easily escape from this and start herself over and drive forward, with the force that she seems to think she's just got to press harder on the pedal and go faster forward and mow us all down. Not going to go so well for her with the Judgment card in reverse. She's not going to get another opportunity, another bite at this apple. Looks like if Netflix is going to give anyone another bite at some kind of poison apple, it's going to be the Has-Been and the Diana documentary, which just, I think everybody thought, oh no, not another one. Please, no. But it looks like that if anyone's going to get a Netflix deal, it's going to be the has-been for a 3-parter on Mummy Diana. Not Meghan. So it's not going to be renewed, not in the way and the glorious way that it was first presented to the world, the $100 million deal, excuse me. No another chance, no second coming, no have another try, none of that. And criticism, and more criticism, because the Judgment card in reverse is all about the criticism, and it's just going to go on and on and on and on and on, the criticism. And the condemnation that is in that card as well, in the energy of that card. As I said, if you've lost the priesthood, then you're in big trouble. Then I can use a word as strong as condemnation, quite justifiably, in my opinion. That is your reading. Our girl in Montecito is in trouble. She kind of gets it. She doesn't really get it, because the star is still front and center of this reading. She still thinks she's got it. If she can just run us all over, flatten us, squash us, like that old cockroach. Anyway, that's the reading. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow.